Steven, how are you, bro?
It's going. It's been a long week so far with my job, but it's going. It's pretty good.
All right, so we are going live right now. So if you guys can, I thought we are live right now. So Haifa, I think you can just take over right now. I'll put myself on mute.
Hey everyone, welcome to Job Skillshare Hot Seat. Today we have the awesome, I'm really scared to say this wrong, but Deepak. He's going to be he's going to be on the hot seat with us today. My name is Haifa. We have Abdul here, Kevtech, Kevin Diaz, Steven, and a bunch of other people on Zoom. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Does anyone else want to do a little introduction? Okay, so are we just going to start, gentlemen?
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready.
Okay, you're ready? Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Deepak Pandey and I'm graduated in information technology and further postgraduate diploma in IT and have completed my certification with Microsoft MCSA and MCSC, and I'm here to test my skills with Job Skillshare. That's it. Thank you.
That's awesome. Can you tell me what got you into the IT world?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Oh, so what made you come into the IT world? What made you want to study IT?
Oh, I was very interested in IT, computers, technology, from my childhood. So yeah, when I completed my high school, right away I decided to jump into the IT sector. So yeah, so almost I would say 7 to 8 years of studies, but yeah, lack of experience. So my learning curve is quite steep, but yeah, experience curve need to be sharpened.
That's awesome. One of the Kevins, do you want to take over?
All right, so to get started, let's open up. Why don't we open up Help Desk 1W10?
Sure thing.
So first things first, something that we like to ask around here is, can you verify whether this system is connected to a domain?
Okay.
So basically, we're testing the basic skills right now.
Why is it so magnified? It's huge. Is anybody else seeing that?
No, I think it's an issue on your side, Stephen. Mine looks great.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so this one is a part of work group for sure. So whether it is connected to the domain or not, I can't go.
So let me ask you a question. When you say it's a part of work group, then how do you determine? How did you what's the next step? Why are you doing the who am I now? Because when you already
yeah, so part of the work group, but I just want to confirm somehow if the right now computer is online with the domain controller or not.
So when you say it's a part of work group, what does that mean? How? Explain it to me, because I'm a little confused right now.
Okay, so when I say it's a part of a domain, that means when I'm logging in onto the domain while using the Active Directory. So my account is not local; it has been created on the domain, and while I'm logging in, it's been authenticated with the domain before letting me log in.
Got it. Okay, so that's how the domain and client users works from Active Directory. But here you're saying you already you already told us this is on work group. So what is this account, and what's the final word on this? Is this a part of domain or not?
So can I log out here if that is okay? If that's not
Yes,
gonna
yes, yeah.
disconnect?
Yeah, you can log out.
Sure.
Yep. So when you log
So I
out,
would say like the easiest way I find out like I'm logging on domain or not is from the login screen. If I can.
yeah, you need to close it and just go back to the machine again. Yeah, and just click on desktop, click on, I think probably it's gonna wait a little bit. Just
Okay.
give it a little second so you can explain what you were
So
saying.
yeah, so till the time I can explain. So yeah, if it's saying ABC domain slash my username, that means I'm logging on to the domain. If it says nothing, like no slash, or if it says the local, then that means I'm logging as a individual separate machine.
So and then let's say if somebody's testing you and they're like, you can't do log off, log in. I mean, that's just something like I'm not gonna allow it. What I mean, if you're an IT person, you should be able to figure it out from the machine. So you already figured this out. There was one on work group, but now you want to figure this out from outside. But is there any other confirmation that you can do once you log into this machine again? Can you confirm it with me that this is a part of domain or not? Just like we would want that clarity over here, right?
Okay, for sure. So it's just not right now. It's not letting me log in though.
Okay, just do disconnect. Click on this. Oh, hold on. Let me actually. Are you using help desk?
Yeah.
So I actually have a question. So you said if it has something slash and then the username that it's connected to domain. So you said,
Yes.
but I thought, see, if when I do who am I see the computer's host name and then the username. So does that really tell me
No,
if
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
actually connected to the domain?
It all depends on the like if my computer name is say Falcon, so it will say Falcon slash my username. But if my domain name is something like domain has to be fully qualified domain name, right? So it will show something like say jobskillsshare.com slash Deepak. Then it means I'm logging on to the domain.
Okay, so
So
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So that means I logged in from the domain. But what if I have connected to the domain, but then I log in as a local user? Then what?
Yes. So that time you won't be using the slash. So say like I'm an administrator, I'm a domain administrator, and as well as I'm the local administrator. So when I'm logging in as administrator and then putting my password, I'm logging into the local machine. Okay. And when I do domain name slash administrator, so administrator account on the domain part.
Yeah. But how would I, taking that into account, how would I determine, even if I log in as a local administrator, if the computer itself is connected to the domain? If Active Directory is connected, if it's
So
finding
on the
the signal.
login screen, at the bottom it says local or domain. So if it is domain, while I'm logging in, it will show domain. So as soon as I start typing my username, if that username computer is connected to the domain, it will automatically change to the let's say domain name jobskills.com. So it will be showing domain jobskills.com at the bottom of the login screen.
Okay, go ahead and log in, connect, and show it to us from that screen, and determine if this machine is what is on domain or not on the domain. I mean, that's how you want to do it. So this is.
So right here, at this part of the bottom part, if it's showing domain, that means I'm logging into the domain. Right now, it's not showing anything. So 100% I'm logging into the local machine.
Okay, so well, here's the thing. That's not true, because if you even add this machine to the domain, the first profile doesn't show anything on the bottom. It always shows the second profile. So just make sure you know this, because if this was your answer, if I showed you this machine right now, I'll put it on domain right now, and the second user will say other user, and then you determine that, because you immediately determine that this machine is not on a domain because of the screen, right? So usually it sometimes when you put the machine on the domain, the first profile could be just local profile logged in, right? You can't just determine it immediately like that. So that's just a tip for you, okay? So make sure you just, here's the thing when we do hot seat, we always tell people, because this is a hot seat, so this is a good tip for you. Make sure you wait and watch what's going on. You should have clicked on the second user on the bottom just to see, is that user part of a domain or not, or does it say other user right there? You see, now you click on it and then it shouldn't show domain, and that's, there you go, you confirmed it, right? It doesn't give
Yeah.
you any other options. But
Okay.
if you don't do that and you just quickly tell the person, because you say that I can tell you about from the screen, this would have been failed for you because you also didn't manage to go down and checked it, right?
Yes, that I understand your point.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's just a good tip for you. So now let's log into admin one again, and the password is the same that I gave you in the Discord. So it's, you want me to type it? Is it easy for you to? For me to...
Joe, just let me try.
That's the P one.
Okay.
All right, let me try it. So we
Sure.
don't waste time here. Okay. It's changing the okay. You already put the right password. Why did it ask me this? Hold on. Let me try a different user. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can. Okay, so you know now that this is not a part of a domain. So now here's what I'm going to do. Because the hot seat works the way you represent yourself to us. You represented yourself as a skill. You already posted your skills right here. So I'm going to pull that up in my machine. And I am going to just kind of like go based on that with you for a little bit, and then I'll let that. Okay, so from your resume, and I'm basically kind of like assuming that because the skill set that you said that infrastructure planning, technical analysis, server expertise, network administration, systems upgrades, project management, data collection and analysis, technical support, virtualization, hardware and software installation, technical writing, troubleshooting, Windows 12, 16, DHCP, DNS, AGDRP. Okay. Active Directory, kind of throw me off like, what is that? Okay. Active Directory, group policy, remote desktop services, folder reduction. Okay. So you said most of this thing, 90% is telling me that you're a sysadmin.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna first throw something at you just to determine, can you do it or not, right?
Okay.
Certain thing. So let's go back to the domain controller. Let's go back to the domain controller machine. And what I would like you to do is go to your DC. Is this a DC? Okay. So first, now tell me, is this a domain controller? What is this? Like when you're logged into this, can you verify what this is? So what is that? Is that a domain controller or not?
No, it's just basic raw installation of the servers, because
Good
if
job.
it was a domain installer, it would be showing ADDS and DNS by default.
All right, cool. Does anybody else have a question in this area, Kevin, or anybody? You guys want to ask? Okay, so how would you convert this machine to a domain controller?
So I have to add the role for that.
Okay. Now before you, this is just show us the GUI. Don't go all the way down.
Okay.
So how would you do it?
So I will just go to the manage, add rules and features, and then next, and then role-based installation.
Okay, good job.
And then I will...
So GUI passed.
Yes.
Can you do it via PowerShell?
No, I like just like before everything. So most of the things I do will be based on the GUI.
Most of the things you do will be based on the GUI. So you're gonna, I hope you don't tell that to the manager, right? You're not gonna tell this to the manager that, hey, most of the things I'm gonna do because of the GUI, right? So the manager will say, okay, I know that you can do PowerShell, but you said that you are sysadmin. A sysadmin job is to actually research and do things also. It doesn't mean that if you don't know how to do it, you can research. So what if I say,
Mhm.
I will give you a PowerShell script. I'll give it to you. Can you still do it?
Yeah, if I got the skill, that's what I do. Like
Okay,
there
good,
are
good
some
job.
things which are
Good,
easier. Yeah.
good job. Okay, so now go to desktop,
Okay.
minimize it and go to the desktop. Just minimize the whole server manager and open that new text document. So the first question is, do you understand this?
Yes.
What does the first thing means?
So first thing means like it's asking to import the module of Active Directory deployment services.
Okay, that's kind of,
And then it's telling me to install the Active Directory ADDS forest, and
okay.
it's not providing any delegation to any domain, I assuming, because that will be the first forest into the domain. That's why. And the NTDS, that will be the local path of the Active Directory database.
Okay.
And domain mode will be
That's
domain
fine.
mode.
You don't have to
I'm,
explain
yeah.
every single one.
Yes.
If I
Yeah.
ask you to change the domain name, where would you change it?
Right here.
Okay, so that's good. So now here's the thing. I want you to implement this.
And I have a question while you're doing that. What's the difference between a forest and domain?
So forest will be a collection of domain. So forest can have multiple trees. Multiple trees can be treated as multiple domain. So a forest, that means there are multiple DC, what I assume. That those DCs can be like the ADC or RODC, doesn't matter, but there will be one primary DSP that will be holding the master schema role, and other can be just the DCs and members into the domain.
Okay. So since you mentioned the roles and based on your skills, so how many roles are there? How many physical roles are there?
So okay,
Just a
so
number.
good question. So just like the approximately, I believe that would be around 30
So,
rows into the 2000, because that number actually changes every time Windows launches. So in 2012 there was more roles and features, but like into 2016 they removed some roles and they raised the features, so it kept changes, but like
no,
the
no.
approximate
I'm talking about for the domain controller. Domain controller physical roles. How many?
FSM role, so there should be 5 roles.
Okay. And do you know what the number that are related to the domain and the number that's related to the forest? That are there's a certain number that's only related to at the domain level, and there's a certain number that's related at the forest level.
I'm not sure about that, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that, if I
And
remember correctly.
that's something you can then research after this. That's a
Yeah,
good tip
for
for you
sure.
right there. So that means,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's something probably people are going to ask you in an interview. And you should know the numbers, and some are Active Directory level, some are at the different level. So you need to know which ones are important, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 3 and
So
2, by the way.
there you go. So now you're using a PowerShell. Okay, so is this how you implement a PowerShell script, by the way? Or are you just trying to see what's going on it?
No, I just use this way because this way is sometimes, so say I'm troubleshooting a DNS server. So in that I can fill different commands. So NS
Okay,
lookup,
good job. Okay.
IP this too, and then I can run it
Okay,
separate by separate, or I can run it as.
all right. So we're gonna run this right now, and let's see what happens. So what happened now? So you already said that I'm not good with partials. I'm not really gonna push on this because you already said that, right? That's just
Okay.
something that I already checked out. But if this is happening, then what would you do next?
Okay, so important rules. So if what I do is usually like once command fails, something I can't do in PowerShell, I will go with the GUI. And if
Yeah.
sometimes GUI fails, I will go with the PowerShell. So yeah, if it fails here, I will definitely proceed with the GUI first.
Okay, but that's basically at this point you're saying that you won't be able to research this because it's errored out. So that's something we need to take it
Yes.
out. Like PowerShell has to
So
be then totally taken out of your skills, because if there's an error, you said I'm going to go to GUI. What if you can't do it with the GUI? What if it's the server, the old one, the 2012 one has only core one. It doesn't have even have the GUI. So of course you can go to GUI, right? Then so something that of course you should take a tip there, because the skills that you're putting out there, when you put infrastructure at that level, you're putting a very big word out there, right? So either
yeah.
drop it down for your resume and just put something basic like administration, server administration, because then if you're going to go to the interview with that type of keywords, then of course people are going to, really go hard on you. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So
Okay.
yeah, my purpose was only to like, if I can, because I know like the goal. So here goal is to make it as like promote it as a DC, right? So
Okay.
I feel like
So
I can
let me
do that.
give you for this tip for people, when you are running Active Directory, where do you actually go to run that?
Like the Active Directory.
Yeah, when you build a domain controller, where do you in GUI, where do you go?
Okay, so in QE, I will go to the server manager, I will go to the tools, and I will straight away open, like it's not yet installed, so it will be
Okay.
showing Active
So
Directory.
now show us on GUI, how would you install it? Let's just do it from that, because we already
For sure.
checked mark PowerShell from your
Yeah.
skills now.
For sure.
But just if somebody wants to know why that error came in, you need to install the Windows feature through PowerShell first, and then it will work. Other than that, it won't work. Okay. So there.
Gotcha. So, okay, so Windows feature
So
with
see,
the
what are you doing right now? You're adding a feature. So
Yes.
in the PowerShell, you also have to add a feature. You don't have to do that because probably going to get
Okay.
stuck. So
Okay.
there you go. So now let's go ahead and do the GUI part. I think you're more comfortable with this. Let's just go ahead and build a domain controller quickly,
Okay.
so we can move on with the other things.
Sure.
Hold on. Are you downloading? Are you going domain controller? Because I don't think this is domain controller stuff. This is
Sorry?
something certificate. Are you sure you're?
Oh
Are you
yeah.
sure?
Oh, that is ADCS will be installed with the domain controller. That's why it's showing.
Did we pick that? Did we pick the D? I
See,
feel like
that is the dependency actually. So
okay.
here,
Let's go up.
yeah, yeah, you are actually
Yeah,
right.
no. So
Sorry.
see now,
Yeah.
another tip for you: slow down,
Yeah.
watch the screen, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, take your time.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna name it same cc.jobskillshare.org, and just kind of go over it and stuff like that. So now, when you based on your resume, have you done this in the course or labs, or how
Yeah,
many?
I have set up like a home lab, and
Okay,
that is already Hyper-V based.
Hyper-V
So
based.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
is that the only virtualization you know, or you know other things too?
I believe all the virtualization are similar. So you just need to know the basic fundamental. So you can use any virtualization with that, I believe. So
Okay.
even this virtualization you are using, all the terms are same, right? Connect, disconnect, or like send the control or delete, right? So these things will be the same with any virtualization
So
platform.
if I'm your interviewer and I'm like, do you know any virtualization? You're gonna say, yeah, I know about Hyper-V. Sorry,
Yeah.
Hyper-V.
So I can say the VMware
Oh,
and
yeah, and if
VirtualBox.
I say I'm using VMware, how would you respond to me?
Yeah, I can handle that. On the VMware too, I can perform all the tasks I'm performing on the Hyper-V. So it's all good.
Okay. All right. So now what we need to do now?
So, okay, so ADDS is already installed. To promote is as a DC. I have to go here and promote. But before that, I would like to see if I need to do any changes to the computer name. That is okay if I need to change. If not, so everything looks fine here. So I will straight away proceed with the.
So you do checking of a computer name after you install all this stuff?
That doesn't matter actually. You can while
What's the good practice over here?
good practices before promoting, always check the computer name, because right
Okay.
now while I will be promoting domain name, everything will be based on the computer name, right? So
All right.
before promoting, like I would say like before installing the role, but yeah, of course, before promoting the role,
Mhm.
you should always check these
Okay.
prerequisites.
All right. So let's make a new forest, and this
Mhm.
call is cec.jobskillshare.org.
Dot job.
That's fine. That's fine. You can .com. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now here's the thing. What are you doing here?
So add a new forest. Oh,
Uh,
okay.
oh, okay. All right.
Dot jobskillshare.com.
So maybe in the middle, I think Haifa or KevTech
Mhm.
or anybody, you guys can throw a question where something
Yeah.
like behavioral question or something like that. Maybe that'll just give us breaks.
So here there is no forest, so I will be creating a new forest. And then here it's asking for the functional level and domain functional level that I will, of course, it's a new operating system and it's the first DC, so I won't be bothering about these. And password, yes, I can. So I can put any, I will put the same password you sent me
Yeah,
here.
just send that. I'm not worried about this area right now. Okay, we'll do next.
Okay, so it has to be a complex password. So
Hmm.
I have a behavioral question.
yeah.
Describe a time when you had to interact with a difficult client. What was the situation and how did you handle it?
Okay, so I was working in India in a Tata call center. So that time it was a time of World Cup, and some guy asked for a repair of their satellite television that was Tata Sky, and it was scheduled for the day, but it didn't happen. So somehow the repair person was busy or whatever, so yeah, they called to me, and like I was working as a call center, so yeah, he was very upset about this, like he had to watch the World Cup match and now his satellite television is not working. So that time what I did was like it wasn't my job, but like I reset whole setup box and it was working. It took me like half an hour, which like was a lot for a call because we were supposed to end every call within 10 to 15 minutes, but I took because he was upset customer. So before escalating it to the next day, which was of course useless, yeah, I took some time and I made him happy.
Appreciate your response.
Thank you.
All right, so we got the domain controller almost running. Next. All right, cool. So that's great for the domain controller, but I'm gonna ask my questions quickly because I'm running out of gas, and
Yeah,
other
for sure.
people can enjoy. Okay. So that's good. You're doing great over here,
Mhm.
and you're gonna basically install this domain controller right now. So what I want you to do go back to your machines, and now let's go into a little bit different stuff over here, and let's see because you say you know more about servers, so I feel like you should know
Mhm.
this stuff. So on the right side, there's a machine home 1W10. Open that one.
Mhm.
Okay. So, first of all, explain this to me right now. What's happening?
So this screen is showing that IAI server is configured on IP 192.168.10.33, and this
Okay.
is the default homepage of IaaS server. So
Okay.
basically, you can replace this page with any website, and that will be running on all your local network.
Good job. So it's running on which port?
So IIS. So it's using the HTTP. So it will be using port 80. So if it was using a secure port, HTTPS, it will be using 143.
Can you turn it into 443?
Uh, no, not exactly that.
You don't know how
That's
to do
something I
that?
haven't done. No.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
No, but I can.
we can go further if you can configure the port in IIS, right? This means you don't know too much about IIS, I
No.
believe. Okay, hey, that's good. Yes and no answers are always good, so it will save us more time in here and things like that. Okay, that's fine. So now you determined that there was an IP address. Okay, now if it's running on that IP address
Mhm.
and I want it to change to a different IP address, how would you do that?
Okay, so basically for that, I have to find out into my DC that on IIS server is running on which machine exactly, and
Okay, so
whatever
let me
machine.
give you a hint. It is running on DC right now. Your DC just is restarting right now, so it's probably gonna go
Uh-huh.
down.
Okay,
So we need to what I need is this, that I want my members are asking me that we need a new website and we need to name it, whatever, like let's say kevtech.com, and we need to run it from that kevtech.com. So your domain controller now. How would you do that on a domain controller? Like you're gonna put, how would you put this name, not kevtech.com, just put your own domain name, like what cc.javascriptshare.com. So let's say we want it on a different than that one right now. So how would you do that?
So for that, first of all, you have to configure what we call it. Sorry, like the site-to-site connection. Like basically, you have to put your IIS server online. For that, you will just buy a domain name for any domain provider. Let's say GoDaddy.com, and then into your IIS servers, you will be connecting both the database, like your IIS server online.
Okay, let me
putting
make it
the-
more easier for you because we went a little
Okay.
further now.
Yeah.
How do you put two IP addresses in one machine?
So IP address is associated with the network card. So
Okay.
if you want to put another IP address into the machine, you have to install a physical network card or a virtual network card.
Okay. Let me ask you again. Maybe you probably can think of a little different. How do I add another IP address so I can run the website on the same server, but I don't want to use my server IP address. I want to use a second IP in that server.
Okay, got your point.
So if you say that, hey, we are running the IIS from the domain controller. So I'm saying,
Mhm.
great, that's one IP address, but I don't want this port. If nobody can, if I want to run javascriptshare.org and people are using port 80 for that, but I want to use javascriptshare.com now and I want to use port 80, then how would I do that?
So I
And
believe
let's say, and because you know that you already told me you don't know IIS, but since you know about servers, how do I add a new IP address to the server?
so you just go to your network card and change your IP address, or if you
Okay.
are changing, or in the DNS record, you put an alias entry,
All right.
but
Okay.
like
Okay.
that will work with the name and IP
Show
only.
it to me on a domain controller because you have
Yeah.
DNS, right?
Yes.
Remember, if you don't know, you just say, I don't know.
No, I'm just
You're gonna
confused
try
about.
it, yeah. Try it,
Yeah.
but you're also gonna also say that, let me try, right? So that's fine. You're showing me that at least you're not giving up on things.
Yes. Sorry, what will be the password for this? If you can
Oh,
type it for me.
hold on. Let me think this is the one that we use here. So I'm gonna change it to, and I'll use the password here. Don't worry about it. You can make a new help desk account when this gets in, so you can then use that password. All right, so let's change, click on OK and log into this domain controller. Actually, I'm going to log in. It's going to ask me. Oh, no, it doesn't ask me.
Okay.
So, okay, now show me how would you add a new IP address so then we can use it for the second website or whatever other reason, because that's what we do as a sysadmins, right?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so for that, first will we go to the DNS. So So here the host is 192.168.10.33, right? Like the DC one.
Uh-huh.
So IIS, like I'm not seeing the IIS running anywhere though here also.
It's I mean, if you know IS is where it's gonna be running. If we
Okay,
install
gotcha.
okay,
So 10.33.
it's using the same IP address. So my question is, I bought a new IP. I have the new IP. Somebody's requesting me for a new website from this same server. I don't want to spin up a new server. I mean, I'm not gonna install for each and every website. I'm not gonna install server for each and every website. That's gonna. What if I have 50 websites? Am I gonna run 50 servers? That's just not right, right? So how do I do this? If I say I'm gonna give you 34 IP address. So how would you put in a 34 IP address in there? What record are you going to use?
So generally like IP to host confirmation, like I will create a new host. Let's say like the parent domain is CC.
Okay.
Okay, and then I will put a IP address and pointer. I will create a pointer to the another IP address. So as you said, like if I have to use the two IP addresses, so let's say this one and
192, 168. Just type it. 192, 168.10.34. So if this is the server that's going to run everything, I gave you the IP address. Do you think it's going to work?
just like
So now you added it. Is it going to work? People go out there, and let's say
no,
we go to IIS. In the IIS, we go in there. We also add this IP address in the IIS, and we'll do all that kind of stuff. Because you said you don't know too much about IIS, I'm not taking you there. So let's say I did that. I put it in the IIS. Is it going to work?
it should.
Okay, so that's wrong.
should.
It's not going to work. So the
Okay.
reason for that it's not going to work because it's not in the server, right? How is it in the server? When you put an entry in a DNS, that doesn't mean that IP address is actually DNS is what? It's just an entry, right?
Mhm.
So, but where is it running from? Which server is it providing that IP address? Like the first one,
Yeah,
you know,
1033.
33. You know what? You know where it's coming from, right? It's
Yes.
in your network, right?
Yes.
So you have to actually go to your network and you have to go to the DNS in there, advance, and then add this IP address in your server. So then your server says that I am also controlling 34 address, even though I have 33 as my main IP address, but I can offer you 34 address as well. So that's why it's not going to work. Okay.
Okay, so what you mean is like, if I'm understanding right, so you have to go to into IAS management, or you
Nope.
are
You're going to
talking
go
about?
right. You're going to go right here. And this probably won't work because we're logged in as a local admin that got converted into a domain. So here, change the CSE. We need to change this. So, but here, you're going to go to
Mhm.
the adapter options. You're going to go to the advanced DNS options. You're going to add this IP address in your DNS, and then you can use it in your DNS and IIS. Okay. Just remember that.
Gotcha.
That's
I understand. So where you were saying like the DNS and secondary DNS, we put generally the
yes.
Google address 8.8.8. There you
No,
asking to put it.
yeah, no, not there. That's the main. That's like your just the normal DNS that's using the main host address, right? So that's not what it's going to use. But anyways, this is something
Yeah.
you need to do a little research on how
Yes,
how
for
to
sure.
add multiple IP addresses in a server because that's going to take you to a whole
Yeah,
long.
actually, I never even thought about this thing. But you're saying like two IP addresses with one website.
Yeah, so that's okay. So no, here's the thing.
With one.
Look, let me tell you something. And don't. Here's the thing. One thing when we give you tips, this is all to make you better, not to
Yes.
mock or anything.
Yes.
You don't know about IIS, you don't
Uh-huh.
know about PowerShell, you don't know about DNS the way it should be.
Mhm.
Three major areas you're lacking, which is the core of any Windows systems administrator. You cannot survive in the building where if they're using IIS because that's where heavily we work on ports. Site is not working. Redirect the website from port 80 to 443. The databases are not working. So how do you go to IIS config files? How do you go to the configs? How do you go and do all that kind of stuff? Coming back to the DNS, every day we change entries in DNS, almost not every day, but almost regularly. This is a sysadmin job right there. Okay, DNS is having an
Yes.
issue, DHCP isn't having issue. Coming back to the server, using PowerShell sometime, stuff like that. So I feel like in that systems administration skills that you put, you're definitely weak in that area. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, now you're showing me that you know to how to move around and things like that, but even a person who goes from our Active Directory training can do more than what you just did. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that person who finished that IT training, that full IT program with us, like that from fundamental to help desk to Active Directory to Office 365 to troubleshooting, that person will be zooming through all these basic stuff that I'm just talking about. But you got a lot of troubles moving around in this area. Okay.
Yes.
So definitely, because you have not worked in as a system admin, this is why I would definitely suggest you to route should be definitely coming from a support first, because you need to know that core stuff a little bit better than this right now. Now, this is not the only thing that will determine that you're weak in sysadmin area, because now I'm going to throw many other things on you. I was about to, because if you would have zoomed through this stuff, I would have spin up like a load balancers right now. I would have spin up a right now. To be honest, I have a practice lab open right now, and I would have spin up some of the caching systems and stuff like that. And hey, tell me where's the problem. Tell me one server is not working, the site is down. So how would you configure one server? Something like that. You know, those are something that sysadmins really know this stuff very easily. Okay, so many areas right now you just got stuck in a very beginning. So I like to be very straightforward over here, because you don't want to waste energy and I don't want to waste my energy, right? So the sysadmin stuff, you put a lot of bigger things over there. Make sure you just drop it down. I think you should start from the support section, because you said you didn't work in support before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that something you think that is okay? Is this something that you want to, and don't get me wrong, you don't have to really like take my my advice here. You can just say, nope, I can still
No,
do this sysadmin
you
stuff.
are saying absolutely right. That's why I wanted to test my skills actually, because in my lab environment I have done this, but not the troubleshooting part, like this
Got it.
type of questions, right? Setting up a lab is a different
You
thing,
see
but
the
like
labs are always install, and configure. It's always sweet thing,
yes,
right?
yes,
It's you start from something, you end with something. But
yes,
when you're on the hot seat, it's not so sweet, where we're gonna basically test you on the things that a real person is gonna be testing you, because they know every single student will be using ISO to install domain controller, finish it off, Active Directory, nicely working. But what happens when people throw something in the middle, or upgrades or patches or stuff like that? Then that's where the real deal is. If somebody has to hire you as a sysadmin to you taking over a hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment, then I'm sure that person is going to really, really want you to make sure that you know your stuff, because they're not going to just let you touch these things. So with this, I'm just going to cut down on a sysadmin, and I'll let my other team leaders right here, Kev Tech, Diaz, Haifa, them take over, because I have a little problem. I don't know if you know debug, so I'm just gonna now stop.
oh yeah, I understand, completely understand.
All right,
Take your time.
and then later
So-
on you can meet me, and I'll give you some guideline how to get started
For
if you
sure,
wanna, if you
for
really
sure.
wanna. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much for your guidance.
So you're doing, I mean, I know that this is I've been in the hot seat before. It's very, very difficult to be in the hot seat. Don't worry, don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take you to Microsoft? Maybe that will be a little bit, Microsoft 365. All right. Do you have the
No,
credentials?
actually, the 365 will be everything new for me. So,
Oh, no.
if
You
we
know,
can proceed with anything with the server or
Yeah,
maybe
can I
like
ask him questions?
that's
yeah,
you.
for sure.
Can you add a computer to a domain for me? Any of the
Yeah, for sure.
desktops?
Yeah.
You show me how you would do it.
So, which one you want me to join?
Whatever one you want. But don't do it from the regular desktop. Don't do it from server manager. Don't do it from that server. Do it from another VM.
No, I was just looking for the domain name actually.
Yep.
So, this help desk wasn't connected to the domain before, so I will see if I can connect this one. Okay, so paste won't work. cc dot job skillshare.com. So it will ask for the administrator password, and I'm not sure what was the password.
Okay, so how do you fix that? If I don't give you the password, you have the access to the DC right now, so you have the access. So add yourself as a help desk, and how would you put yourself as a domain admin, and show us all that kind of stuff. So you domain, and because now this is now basics, right? So
Yeah.
just because you have the access, right? You can add yourself now, add yourself as a domain admin, call yourself help desk, and then use that account for all the other labs that they're asking you to do.
Sure. So I'm just not gonna create any additional OU. So I will be creating a user right here. So best practice will be to create a OU and then put the user into that. Oh, sorry. Okay.
And what's the difference between
You are already new user, right? Helpdesk user. So you don't need to create the new user, I guess.
Kevin
No.
Diaz.
What Danish wanted me to create a user which will have access to the all the help desk.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead
Yep.
and do that. Go and create a help desk account.
Kevin had a really good question he was about to ask.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the difference between a container and an OU? Why would you create an OU and not just a container?
So the containers are basically the built-in. You cannot apply any group policies to the containers, but like OUs, you can customize with the applying the different group policies to that. But like here, I'm just creating a user, so it doesn't actually matter. Like I'm creating because I won't be applying the group policy to it, right? So just like adding to the admin group. So that's why I'm just creating the user into the default container and then
Yes, fine.
adding it to the.
I do want you to create an OU and then delete that OU afterwards
Okay,
once you
for
finish
sure.
this.
Yeah, I got what you are gonna ask me.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna have him add it to a domain. I'm gonna have him do one more thing, and then you could do what you're gonna ask him to do.
So right now it will be all the just the basic permissions. So I will be making it domain admin group.
All right, good job on that. That's kind of cool that you went through all and you did the whole process. So that's
Thank
cool.
you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what the difference is between a distribution group and a security group?
Yeah, for sure. So distribution groups are not much into the use these days, like especially on the servers, because they were used to distribute the mails basically. So while we were using the Exchange offline, that time we were using the distribution group. But right now, 365, Office 365 have integrated distribution groups, so it's not much into the use. On the security groups on the other side, you can those groups can you can apply different access policy and security to the security groups. So basically, most of the groups you will be seeing will be the security groups, not the distribution group.
I got this question yesterday in my interview.
Oh, nice.
I actually
What?
had that question in an interview too.
Oh, and was my answer right?
To me, yes, but the pros.
Okay, so yes, so we are already joined the domain. So what was the next question again? I guess Kevin was
There,
asking something.
restart the computer now. Just restart that computer, that one that you added to the domain,
Oh, okay.
because you didn't restart it. As soon as it comes back up,
Uh-huh.
well, actually, while it's coming back up, create a new account for me. I want you to call it Jessica as the login name.
So you want me to create that account like locally or in the Active
No,
Directory?
no, the Active Directory. Create an Active Directory account, Jessica, and I want you to set it to expire for 1 month. The account is only good for 1 month. Set it to expire for 1 month.
Okay.
So then they have to renew. You have to renew the account after 1 month.
Okay. So yeah, I know two ways to do that. I'm not sure which will be the handy.
So create a brand new account, call Jessica, and then set it to expire after 1 month. Show me what you would do, or how would you do it? Brand new account. You put whatever password you want. Just create the account.
Yeah. It's not created, I believe, right?
Nope.
So okay, so I will go into more depth, like from uh, administrative center, because I feel that gives me more options for creating the users.
No, you were able to create the account. You could create it in there. Go back. You have to read what you were doing. Check again.
No, what I meant was, just let me show you here.
Are you gonna do it in there? Okay.
Yeah. So here, like, I feel like there are more options to configure, so that's why. So because you asked for the expiry, so account name will be Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if do you have the distribution? Do you have the Discord link? I'm gonna copy it and paste it in there too. Thank you.
Okay.
No. Okay. End of. So here it's allowing me to put the date. So
Yeah, just make it 1 month and create the account. I just want to see if you could do it.
okay. So let's see. Today is 27th. 8. So 08 28 2020. And here password will be striker 2020.
Okay.
Danish, where did you want me to paste it?
On YouTube, sorry.
Got
Sorry, if anybody can help me here. Like, I'm not sure why it's not showing me the OK option here.
So if you can do it from here, can you do it just from the Active Directory?
Yeah, but like he asked me for the expiration option, which I always set
Oh,
it from
expiration.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
So
you
that's
could do it
easier
on
to set it.
you could do it on Active Directory too. You could change the expiration date on Active Directory too. So I wanted to see if you know how to do it
Okay.
on that.
Okay. So
If you don't know, just say I don't know, and that's your
So,
homework.
okay. So what I believe is I will go with the properties and I will go to the properties of the user and then I will go to the account and I will set the expiry from there. If you want to show me.
Yeah, just show me another user that. Show me
Yeah,
another-
so my user account was created here. So I
Mhm.
will be showing from here, I believe the accounts. Okay, right here and then end of the strip.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but like usually like when I create a new user, I go for the administrator option because it gives me whole lot of information to set it up. But yeah, that will be the easiest way, I believe.
Can you show me real quick how do you enable object on the tab on the top? See, I have all those tabs. Can you show me how to enable object?
Okay, so I will go to the view and I will go to the advanced feature. And now if I go to the user and I will check the properties. So object is right here.
One last thing. Can you show me on attributor the information of the DNS?
Sorry, I couldn't understand.
Yeah, the attributor. Show me the DNS on attributor
Okay,
editor.
so this will be my domain.
Yeah, but can you
That's
show
what
me
I-
that on attributor editor? Attribute editor. Show me that.
Sorry, I can't understand the question. Like you
So-
want me to
Show me that domain on the attribute editor tab. See where's that? See where's the tab called attribute editor? Show me there. Show me where it is there.
right here.
Yep.
And what you want me to do here again?
Just show
Sorry.
me the domain in there. I just want to see where the domain is in there. Just show me the domain.
Oh.
Can someone post the KevTech Discord link in the chat? I'm trying to do the invite, but I can't see. I mean,
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
Give me a
thanks.
second.
I'm going over this because I do stuff on this all the time. That's why I'm going over this.
No, nice. Because like honestly, there is no one who can ask me the question like in my friend circle. So it's good you're asking me these questions. Okay, so right here, the principal name will be the Deepak@CC.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. All right. I was gonna ask you one more thing. Can you show me how do you just one more question for me, and then I'll give it to Kevin. Can you show me how do you disable the log off button in group policy? Just show me how to how would you configure it or set it up. Don't actually set it up. Just show me how you would do it. I just want to see if you know a basic understanding of group policy.
So I will first I have to create a OU like on what user I want to implement that policy or what group. And then afterwards I will go to the
So where would you go to create the policy?
right here.
Okay.
So okay, and sorry, what was the question again? If you can repeat.
I want you to disable the log off button for a user, just for every user in the domain.
for every user in the grid. So yeah, so group policy are basically divided on basis of two things, one machine and one will be the users. So if I go to the domain controller policy,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then I go to the policy and sorry, user policies. So Windows setting, and then it should be script for the login log off, and then I can okay. So basically I can use it from here, but like
This is a script that you're adding
yeah,
to
yeah.
the log on log off, right? You're adding a script. So, I mean, the good thing you already know how to get into group policy.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see.
So-
Just the
so,
basic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
you also
have a-
mentioned that you can you can use group policy, and do you know how to deploy a software through group policy?
like I have done the WDS, like preparing a WDS and configuring it with the Windows images or like the operating system images.
But you haven't deployed the software. Like when I say Zoom, let's deploy Zoom to 400 machines.
No, I haven't
No, okay.
deployed any software
Okay,
like that.
so that's another thing you put on your
Yes.
list too, group policy management. So maybe when you're doing an interview, you should keep it basic to in front of them, because you don't want to go into
Yep.
too advanced and they're going to ask you the same question. You say no, then we got a
Yes,
problem
I
there. So
understand. Though
you want
I
to
know
keep
the
it to the
basic,
very
like,
basic level.
yes.
So if I
Yeah,
ask
though,
you, what is the domain policy over here? So what's the best way for you to tell me what's in this policy? What's the best way? What's the quickest way to find that information?
sorry, what information again?
So if let's say, for example, you go to the company right now and they're like, you say, I know about group policy. And the guy was like, okay, all I need is to tell me what's in our group policy, what's already done in our group policy. What's the easiest way you can show it to me in front of your screen? Like right now, when you're on group policy, you have the access to a domain controller. How easy can you tell me that these are my settings in my environment right now?
Okay, so I will go to the default policies that will
Okay.
be
So you're going to
common.
close this whole thing because this is not default, right? This is domain controller. So let's go ahead and
Yeah.
now show it to me on
Actually,
the
it
default.
was the default domain controller policy.
Okay.
Because there will be two policies.
Mhm.
One will be right here.
Under the
but
main
that-
domain, yes.
Yes, but
Mhm.
like that most of the time that is not active. If I show you here. So the
How do you
policy,
know that it's not active?
because this policy is just a link to the
Mhm.
so if you go to
Is it active
the
now or
starter
not?
GPU, no, it's not active right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, right now, the
what may okay, how is that the policy that you're showing it to me, what makes you think that this is not active?
because I installed the Active Directory, right? So I
Uh-huh.
know like when we install it from the scratch,
Mhm.
the policy that is in effect will be always a default domain controller policy, not the default domain policy.
Okay, so I want you to research on this. So find out if this policy is active or not. So now when you say it's not active, let's go ahead and go to the default domain policy and show it to me that policy. Yes, show it to me what's in that policy. What's the easy way for you to tell me that this is our policy? This is all the things that are changed. What if there's like hundreds of changes in that policy? How would you show it to me? So are you going to go in one by one, because this is like a gazillion amount of things in group policy? Is that the proper way?
So I know where the policies are synced. That will be into the C drive sys4 folder, but like most of the time that is not readable.
That's not readable. So where can you read it?
That I'm not sure actually.
Okay, good. So look on the right side. Look on the right side of your box. There's a option in there. Like go to details, and with your details, there's settings, right? Click on settings.
Okay.
See what's happening.
Generating report.
There
Okay,
you go.
Gotcha.
So every single
Okay,
thing that you change, you can just pull it right here, right?
Yes, I understand. But like I wasn't getting, like I have been here, but like I wasn't.
Yes, that's fine. That's the reason you're doing a hot seat. So then tomorrow you're going to be, okay, let me just wait a little bit. But again, your group policy skills are also weak. So you want to make sure that you also come to this point and really work on this, because with the things that I just asked you, you're telling me things that they're basically not right now. So you really need to make sure that what you're saying, and when you're so strong about it, maybe you just say, I'm not too sure about it, right? Because you're strongly telling me that this is not active. Well, currently it is active. So you can make a change in there right now, and you can make it, hey, lockout policy for 5 amounts, 5 times people get locked out, it will immediately apply. So that will just prove it to you right there that it's working. Okay. So another thing in the system, and this is not something as help desk will be touching too much, but you should definitely concentrate in this area if you're going to put it on your thing. And if
Donish, can he change the lockout policy for us, please? Like maybe up to 10 times?
Yeah, go ahead and change the
Can you do that
lockout
for me?
policy.
Sorry.
Change the lockout policy. So first of all, let me ask you a question. When you install the domain controller by default, is there a lockout policy implemented when you install the domain controller? Yes or no?
I believe when there should be a default lockout policy after 5 attempts, I believe.
Okay, how can you prove it to us? Like from this policy, you did run the report. Where would you find that five amount that you're going to put 5 times you can put and get locked out?
So that should be under the security.
Okay.
And password policy.
All right.
So here.
Do you see anywhere 5?
Oh, sorry, lockout policy.
Okay. So what does that tell you right now?
So account logger threshold 0 in wallet login.
So what does that mean?
So that means
it's not implemented, right?
It's not implemented. I believe that this one will be implemented if I see. Just let me confirm once again, please.
So know the difference, because you're in the domain controllers policy. This is not the policy that users are getting. Okay, this is for your domain controllers. That's why we use default domain policy, and that's why in the beginning when I asked you, is it active or not, you said no, it is active. It is active for all your users. That's a domain default domain policy. So if you go back to default domain policy, this information you can go and right click on edit, and when you edit it, right click on it, and then you can go to the settings and basically preferences, security, and then you can actually turn that policy on to 5 accounts. But if you don't know, then you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Policies, actually, sorry.
So by default, you meant it's not applicable, like you have to.
Open policy, yes. The lockout one is by default, it's not enabled. So you need to enable it. When you need to go into Windows settings, security, and then you need to enable this by, so go ahead and expand that on the left side.
I'm glad you asked him that, because he wrote group policy as a skill. I'm glad you asked him that.
Yeah, so account policies, expand account policies.
And here are the local.
Double click on it. See, it's not defined, right?
Yes.
So that's something you should know, because that's very basic. What Stephen asked you is if you say that I know about group policy, but if this is not, it's no way that you're going to be working in a company and they won't have this, enabled unless it's unmanaged like crazy. But
yes,
that can happen.
Because just to stop the attacks, right?
So okay, so that's I mean, like right now I'm just kind of check marking everything from your list and just like throwing it on the side right now that sysadmin stuff needs to be moved away from here right now. We really need to focus on the basics.
Okay.
So at this point, my end, I mean, your basics are good, but you still need to go over some of the content that KevTech is showing in his channel, some of the content that I have, and things like that. It's going to really make you kind of like, be more comfortable in even in the support area, because even in support stuff, like you are kind of like, struggling in some things, not too much. I think you just need a touch up right there, right? Because you
Yes.
already know the concepts, you already know how to touch labs and everything. So that's kind of like my suggestion for you, because I already see you're struggling in different areas. But the thing is this, the good thing, you already know this stuff. So it's just going to take you only one course to go over, and the playlist from Kev Tech, and he has so many videos in this area too. And we'll put his YouTube in this description.
So Danish, what will be the best section of like the CSS blog to have? Because the most of the things I was doing like away from this stuff. So this stuff, like which blog will be suitable to learn this?
Blog? What do you mean by that?
Like your JSS, like CapTech or the server admin, like which chat group?
So we have I'll show it to you in a second. So let me just kind of stop here. Let me ask other people so they can ask you their questions if they have behavioral questions, or maybe Kev Diaz have some questions.
Let me ask
that,
him.
and we can then move on later on that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, for sure, Danish. Thank you.
I want to ask you one more thing.
For sure.
Yeah. So tell me what is your greatest weakness and what is your greatest strength?
So my greatest strength will be like I'm so curious about like how everything works. So when I see a piece of software, a piece of program, piece of hardware, whatever, like I try to dig into that, like how the basic mechanism is working. And my weakness would be like I'm not very great at taking notes, I would say. And being a system administrator, you are supposed to have like writing down everything you are facing. So yeah, that would be my strongest strength and weakness.
And I have one last question for you, then I'll pass it over to Kevin.
For sure.
How would you describe a solution to someone who doesn't understand technical terms?
So with like technical terms, like when I come to a situation where somebody is non-technical and I have to use a common language, so I seek for an example from the real world. So if like say anything, like say the DNS, how forwarders work. So I will try to put an example. Okay, let's see, like you come to me, I refer you to my senior. So that's what DNS is doing. Like there is an intermediator and then it forwards you to the next member. So yeah, I will try to relate with the real life situation and see if that works.
Can you give me an example? Like for example, like someone's computer doesn't turn on and you fixed it. Like how would you describe how you fixed it for the user?
So first of all, like it depends on like what was the fault exactly. So let's say if the power cord wasn't properly plugged in, so I would just say like the power cord wasn't properly plugged in. That's non-technical. But yeah, if there was some serious technical issue, say say the BIOS has some faulty component. So I will just tell them like, okay, there was some part into the motherboard, like the main board itself, which needed to be replaced or repaired, and it is fine. And I will also tell him like, if say like the issue was overheating of the failure, then I will suggest him like to keep the system into some airy space where it can have some cooling air.
What's your response for a user or a client that basically you fixed the problem? Like for example, you said the computer wasn't plugged in, and he says to you, "I must be stupid. I'm a stupid user. I must be dumb, or I must be stupid." Like, what would be your response if someone says that to you?
So just to make him feel better, I will tell like it happens. Like sometimes it's just the silly things even that takes time to figure out. So it's just nothing. Just like next time, if it's something like it happens, just try to like unplug everything and plug it on again.
Okay, all right, good. I like your answers. Some people would try to be a little the client. That's all I wanted to ask. I wanted to see what you would say. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I ask a question before Kevin goes?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
You guys go ahead. I'm dealing with something right now.
All right. So, if you could be a fruit, what fruit would you be, and why?
Sorry, Abdullah, you are not very audible to me. So if you can.
He said, if you could be a fruit, what fruit would you be and why?
Okay. So that's a good question. Okay. So if I have to be a fruit, I would like to be a pomegranate. The reason, it's very healthy and it shows a teamwork. Like all the seeds into the pomegranate, they are stick together, creating a good bond, showing a better teamwork, right? So yeah, so that will be my answer.
That's very cool. I like that.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. It's a technical question. How would,
Yeah.
if you had a user's computer and they came to you and said, "Hey, the profile on my computer is now corrupted," and you needed to create like a new one, and you wanted to totally, how would you remove the user's profile from the computer totally, from the registry to the user's folder, to make it nice and clean after you actually after you create the actual new user account, you logged in, you transfer everything over, but you wanted to get rid of that old one totally from the computer? What would you do to totally remove it from the computer like it's never even been there before? What's the proper steps? What is the professional way of doing it?
So are we talking about local profile or the Active Directory profile?
Local profile. So in other words, like, if my laptop was bad and I come to you and I said, "Hey, Deepak, my user profile seemed to be belly up here, something's going wrong." You're going to say, "Okay, let me see if I can get the information off your old profile." And then what we're going to do is that we're going to recreate your profile on this laptop. So then after you recreate the profile on my laptop, everything starts working, but you're like, "Okay, I want to get rid of that old profile totally from the computer." How could you do it in like 2 steps? Maybe like 2 or 3 steps, maybe. But maybe I think it's like 3 steps to totally get rid of it.
What I will do is uh, like removing a user. There are quite a few ways. I'm not sure the outputs you want will come from which one. So first thing, I will go to the right click the my computer and go to the manage, and then I will see the local user and computers there, and I can remove the user from there. And it will ask or the second way, like go to the control panel, and if I delete that profile, it will ask like, do you want to keep those profile into this, or you want to remove it, right? Then I can remove it. Or else, if there is only one profile which I need to remove, then why not I will go with the restore process. Like if it's like only one profile, then I don't need to bother about the other users. Then basically I will refresh the whole computer, like from the starting point, like because when we install the window, there is a starting restore point, right? I will
Okay, you're close. I want you to go to the one of the other computers that already has an account on it. And I'll show you how to professionally do this the correct way on how to remove it totally from the registry, from the users folders, from everywhere. Okay, I want you to go to click on File Explorer for me. And I want you to right click on this PC.
manage.
And I want you to go down to Properties. And I want you to click on Advanced System Settings. And I want you to click on User Profiles, hit the Settings button. And this is going to show you all the user profiles that are on this computer. So let's just say mine was that staff admin account. You would just click on it and hit delete, and that's totally going to erase it from the computer, and that computer never even knew that the account even existed. It's going to get rid of the SID and everything else on it, all in like one shot.
And this one, what you think about this process, like when we go to the manage and delete the local users from here?
Yeah, but that's not
That's
getting
yeah,
rid
that's
of
just
the
the
everything. That's just
yeah,
getting
that's
rid of
user. That's just
the
the
user.
login and that.
If you want to make a nice clean slate, that's the
And-
professional way. You just did it beforehand, not this way, but the other way. Like I said, it gets rid of the actual SID in the actual registry. It gets rid of the user actual folder. It gets rid of everything. And that computer is like, I have no idea who the heck you even were.
Oh,
Ever. That is the actual professional way of doing it. The other way is, I like to call it Bush League. But
thank you so much,
professional way
Stephen,
to
for the
put it
tip.
that way. So,
Thank you.
all right. So go ahead, Kev. I guess Diaz, you're up.
So walk me through the process of debugging a situation where the client calls you and they're trying to print, and no matter how many times they hit print, it doesn't print. In this situation, the printer is already connected, the printer's set up, the drivers are installed. How do you debug it?
So first thing I will say, like if there is any big file into the queue which is keeping the print process busy. So for that, I will just go to the print management, and I will see if there is any. Yeah, so printer with the jobs will show me if there are any like ongoing process which is like on hold or whatever, which is like aborting the other processes to go further on. So I will just remove that process and that should be go on. So if the printer is not even showing into the job process here, into the print pool, then there is definitely something wrong with the printer configuration.
What if you delete all the jobs, you hit print again, and it still doesn't want to print? What's another step you can take?
Mm, okay. So so and it's happening with a, like I will ask first, like it's happening with a particular software, like say the Word or Adobe, or like it's happening with all the softwares.
Yeah, all the software. You try to print from anywhere, it just freezes. It doesn't want. It just doesn't want to. It doesn't print. It just stays in the queue and it doesn't actually print. What's something you can do?
So I think what Kevin's trying to say is, what's the best way to erase all of the queues and start over again?
No,
What could you restart?
So
Yeah.
that's what I like. I can remove all the jobs from here right away.
Yeah, but there's something you can restart to make this happen. What would that be?
Yep.
And where?
There's something you could restart.
So so I will just try to restart the print services from services.
Okay, so show me that.
Okay. So this print spooler, I can restart the services, or basically what I will do just to be on the safe side, whatever I see with the printer or print, I will restart all the services.
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer. Okay, so let's say you're having some trouble opening up an Excel file. What's something that you can do to open that file? It's a big file. You notice that it's a big file. What's something that you can do to try to debug it? Try to see if there's something inside of it that's causing it.
So so if you say like it's a really large file, so probably it's taking more RAM. It needs more physical memory to load it. So what I will try, I will go to the task manager and I will try to shut the unnecessarily processes. So my RAM can be freed up and there will be more space to load that large file.
Is there something else you can also do to add a secondary layer of like simplification to opening the file to perhaps see if there's something inside the file that's causing it?
So I can like what I can think of, like I can check the extensions, like if the extension is like XLS or what it is, and I can try to open it with the online office suite. Maybe that can help, because sometimes if that will let you know at least that like the problem is with the document itself or the software. If you are trying with the alternate software, if the problem still remains, I will try to convert the XLS file to something else. Like I can use any online converter, like to convert that file to some different extension which can be opened with the Google Excel suite, let's say.
So
And
the simple answer that really what I was trying to look for is you could try opening it in safe mode in case there's any kind of add-ins or something like that that might be eating up a lot of resources or perhaps causing problems. That's just a simple answer. You don't have to
gotcha.
go too much in depth.
Okay.
How about let's see, real basics. Set the set all the settings, the IP settings for this computer, make them static.
Sure.
And that includes working with the domain controller with the DHCP. Is there a DHCP server set up? I don't know if Danish.
There is a DC, but not the DSCP.
No DHCP in
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yes.
All right. So never mind. So just make it static from within the.
It's the same one, Tanish.
So now how do you know? Are you going to a local profile? Is he going to go to local profile, Kev, or is he going to domain? Okay. That's your domain right there, right? So this is what I was talking about in the beginning, remember?
Yes. So, and this was I was talking about, like sign into.
Well, how do you confirm? How do you put it on a local account if you were to sign into this?
Sorry.
How would you log in locally if you were to see the screen CC? Like if you knew the password to the local account, how would you log into this?
Okay. So just like I will type it, like so it's saying the CC. If it don't find a username, so if I'm typing the Deepak, it knows like Deepak will be on the CC. But if it's not, then it will be log me in as a local.
Let me make it simple. What is the name of this computer?
I'm not sure.
Desktop. How do you figure out the name of the computer using the screen?
Desktop. So it is whatever.
Number one. Look at the number one thing. Like, so first thing I want to confirm it with you. Click on admin. Let's confirm this, because if people watching in the beginning, confirm that.
Yes.
You see, you gave me an answer based on this screen, right?
Yes.
So that's probably wrong. So you're gonna go down now. Let's go to other users. So now like this is basically a person trying to figure out your skills to know the basics of how would you know the name of the computer if this computer was dropped from the domain, security drop, all these messages we deal with this on daily regular basis. A machine is being dropped by this domain controller because of the security blah blah blah. Now you're
so
stuck.
Say when I type a username, it says helpdesk 1W10. So I know it's gonna log me in as a local administrator.
Now here's the thing.
On the same side, when I put CC, then it will.
No. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of companies don't even use administrator anymore. They disable that account. So now how would you confirm it?
So just type anything. So say XYZ.
Okay, type XYZ. Does it give you the computer name?
So okay, no, it's not giving me the computer name. So
so there's a technique that you need to know, right?
Yes.
So here's my tip for you. Now Kevin probably will show you the technical things. I'm going to show you that probably will piss off your managers, the people who are going to hire you. So if you don't know it, you're probably going to say, oh, I know two techniques. I'm going to type the administrator account and that will give me, and you can show it to them. If it comes up, great. Maybe they didn't disable it. That's one technique. If you don't know the second one, you're gonna say, I don't know the second. I know there's a second one, but I forgot about it, or I'll just like say something that is more like that rather than you trying different things, X, Y, Z, this and that. Of course, the person's gonna be like,
Yes.
nah, you don't know this, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is basic. You should know how to do this. That's why I ask you that, since you're already on that screen.
And I believe this has been around for years too. It just isn't new with Windows 10. It's been around for a long time. So
I'm gonna give you the kind of like the what do you call those, benefit or the doubt thing that you haven't worked before. So I think I'm okay with you trying, but at what I'm trying to give you a tip based on, like, don't try to push it if you don't know something.
Yes.
Make sure you kind of go back. Hey, this is I know I have been through this stuff, but I forgot the second method. I would try the first one, but if I don't know, I'm here to learn. You know, I'm very passionate about learning these things. So try to make it sound that you're telling the other person that I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna learn this stuff. Okay.
Okay, Danish. Good tip. Thank you. Okay, so I believe I was.
No, show Donna, show him what you typically type in there. So go back to the top, go back to the username.
it's only like 2 letters. That's it. Or
Yeah,
two.
it's
two
dots backslash. So delete all that.
Yeah, delete this whole thing.
Just show him, because you have to show it anyway, visually show it to him. So do dot slash
backslash.
Dots.
Do a dot backslash.
dot backslash
Dot backslash?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
just
a backslash.
yep.
dot backslash.
Okay.
There we go.
Do you see it?
There it is. They're all there.
Mm-hmm.
Something else to what's the second way?
Okay, gotcha.
In case you didn't know that it was dot backslash, what's the other way you could have found it?
Okay, so either the administrator or either the dot and backslash.
No, but how would you log into the local user if you didn't know this method? Well, how would you figure that out?
So just a local. Okay, so.
Look
So
at your
local
screen.
user, like if I'm gonna log in as a local user, obviously I have the username and password, right? So whenever I will put the username and password, it will let me log in if it's
No.
not showing sign into CC. Is that
Nope.
okay?
But it's showing sign to
Okay.
CC. How do you log into the local one? I don't want to log into the domain. Just same thing that you just did right now, but there's another method you can do. You just gotta look at your screen. There's something on your screen you can click on.
Okay, so at the rate. Okay.
There we go. See, and then you can see your computer name right there.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah,
Sometimes
that's
you
what
just
I
have-
was going to put the local. That's like if I put the Deepak at the local, it will let me account as.
Yeah, you just have to be
Yes.
very slow. You have to be able to read what's around you.
Yes.
It's easy,
Yes.
easiest thing.
Yeah, so now you
Okay,
have
yeah,
different methods of logging in or showing someone that it's what the name of the computer is.
Yes.
So one of the
Okay.
problems I used to have when I started all of this was that I used to go too quickly and I wouldn't read anything. Like even the error messages when they popped up, I wouldn't stop to read it. I just click, okay, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know what's wrong, and I'll continue to do the same thing over and over. So just take your time. I know it's hard, but
Yeah, you're right.
I have
Okay,
a
so
basic
the
question for you. When you get an error on the machine that says, I lost the trust to the domain, what exactly is that telling you?
that means like he or she is not being authenticated by the DC. So quick solution will be unjoin the domain and then rejoin it again.
Okay, you mean the computer or the user?
Depends, like the login policy, if it's like the user most probably. So it happens like if a user haven't logged in with his username and password in a while, then sometime it happens like it loses the trust. So
That has to do with the user or the computer?
computer, because domain join will be with the computer name, right?
All right, it has nothing to do with the user, so the computer is the main part. The computer
Yes.
loses its trust, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, but so same thing, like from where we join the work group or new domain, there we have to unjoin and rejoin, right?
Okay, very good.
So yes, I guess it was Kevin's question or maybe the Steven, I'm not
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
like the static IP.
We're gonna make it static. And you're going to use the
So-
same information that this computer already has.
So it's obtaining the IP automatically somehow. I'm not sure DSCP is configured on which computer here.
Well, it has an IP address, so you have to determine it.
Yeah. So
How
what
do
I'm
you
gonna
check
do,
for an IP address on this?
Yeah,
machine?
yeah. I was going to ask the same thing. Steven got a really good question. How do you check the IP address?
What would be
So-
the easiest way to doing it?
Oh, I'm not sure why it's not typing sometimes. Okay, so IP for this computer will be 35.
Okay. What is the network address in this 35?
Network address, it's using class C, no subnetting. So network address will be 192.168.10.
Okay.
So while you're doing this, I want to ask you a question. Is there another way that you can do this? You don't have to do it. Just tell me, is there another way that you can do it? And if so, how can you do it? You don't have to say specifically. Just say what's the way.
Like I can go to the server manager and from there I can configure the IP.
There's something else locally on the computer?
Mm, it can be done from the CMD, but like with CMD for the network, all I know is like the IP config, renew and release. So I'm not sure like how you will set up the IP into the CMD.
Okay, yeah. So it's just with NetSH, you can configure IP addresses and configure other network things.
From where again? Sorry.
NetSH, use it on the command line.
Oh yeah, NetSH. Yes.
And then also there's a PowerShell method as well. But
Yeah. So 192.168.10.1 it was, I believe.
the importance of that is, if you're given a server and it's there's no GUI available, you're gonna have a problem, or you're not gonna be able to do the things.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, actually, I recently started all the like server things like the MSC, MCSA, and MSC. So I will be definitely going further with the PowerShell commands. But right now, whatever I have learned so far is just a GUI because that's what YouTube teaches you most of the time. Okay, so I believe it got disconnected and will be reconnected again.
All right, so pretty cool.
Okay.
So now you said all that stuff. When it turns on, or even in any of the other machines, I want you to show me how you can make it so that every time I go to google.com, it's actually going to go to the IP address of the IIS server. Locally, not on the DNS server, locally.
Okay. So I'm not sure about this, but like what I can think about is like it will be solely based on the browser, or it should be applicable to all the browser. So
Yeah, all the everything. Just there's something that you can edit inside of the machine, so that it'll be for that specific machine, not on the DNS server. On that specific machine, it'll affect when you type google.com, it's going to redirect instead to the IP address of the DC2, which does the IIS server.
Or maybe like a user call you that I'm going to google.com, but it's going somewhere else. Would that be nice, Kevin? Like if somebody call him that, hey, I'm going to this website, but it's taking me to our local portal. So what would that be happening? What does ring a bell to you, or do you even know about this? What's happening?
That is a
So
tough question there, Kev, for him. Man, that's it's easy, but
So
tough.
I'm not sure about the local computer, but I have done it with my own website, and that just like the redirection of the URL, and I configured that from my cPanel into the
All right, so
It's,
let
it's
me let
simpler
me
than that.
let me let me make it a different way. A user call you, and she's complaining about this. She's going to CNN.com, which is news.com, right? Just news
yes.
website. She wants to go to CNN.com, but it takes her to some foreign website, and it has some gibberish in there. But nobody else is complaining about it. It's just her computer. So what do you think? What's happening?
So what I can think of is like I will just double check if she's typing the URL well. So sometimes what happens is like if you search for the CNN earlier and you landed to some like rubbish website, the next time when you type CNN, you don't
Okay, let
look.
me let me give you an
Yeah,
answer. People are in chat is giving you answer. Phillips, sorry, Amr,
yeah,
thank you.
for
Capital,
sure.
thank you. They're saying to check host file. So do you know what host file is?
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
What is that? How would you get to it?
I will go to the system 32, and there is a host file.
Okay.
And
Can you
What
go
does that
to
do?
yeah,
Can you
go
explain
ahead.
it?
oh, that basically resolves, like I understand now what you were asking. So yes, so that basically resolves the basic browser query.
So I want you
So
to go in there and make it so that if I go to google.com, or actually, you know what? If I go to jobskillshare.com, it's actually going to go to the IIS server.
Here's a question for the chat room. Who created that host file? Was it a man? Was it a woman? And what was its name? And what year was it
Woman.
actually made?
Woman, what's the first letter?
P. Well, her last name is starts with a C, I think. Yes, C or
Was
K.
it
Was it?
Patty?
Was it?
Patty? I forgot her name.
Patty, close. Close. You guys should know this. This is very important. This woman was famous for this.
Patricia?
1972, I believe, was the year that she actually created it. And then
Patricia?
from there, DNS was born after that, about 10 years later. Her name was
I
Peggy
remember
Karp.
Peggy.
Peggy, yes. Probably a very, very intelligent young woman back then. Created this little text file that right there it is in all its glory. That changed the world. That thing, DNS, we have today because of this right here. If it wasn't for this, DNS would never have been born.
Wait,
Just
no, I learned that through
a bit of history.
Mr. What's his name? Mr. V?
Yes.
What was it? Vander what?
okay, so
Oral
what?
Vanderpool.
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 Hello.
All right, so yeah,
Hi.
Hi,
add that
so
add
okay,
that
so
entry. Job skills share to the IIS server.
okay, so CC. Oh, just the job description.
Oh, here's a good thing. In case you don't remember the IP address,
10.33, I believe, right?
yeah, if you didn't know that, how can you find that from this machine? If knowing the domain name, how can you find that?
Like just the domain name.
Yeah, you know the domain name of the machine. How can you find that?
So I just go with this computer properties, and it will show me what domain I'm on.
No, but like sorry, the host name of that IIS server that you're pointing to. If If you didn't know that it was 10.33, how can you
Oh,
find
okay,
that?
okay. I understand your question. So what I will go is, oh, sorry, job skill share, right?
No, because we're not looking for that. We're looking for the IIS server. We don't care about the job skill share.
So that's a command I use, but I'm not sure like how to show.
But
So
we want
like it
we
can
want
show it.
the IP address of the IIS server so that we can make it so that when you
So
go to
what you just did,
jobskillshare.com, it's
you
going
just
to
went,
redirect this.
yeah, you just did. You went to outside public, website. So
Yeah.
what we want to know, where would you find that .33 address right now? Like that .3 is local, right? That's not 74, 162, 144, 26, 74.
Yes. Yes.
That 192, 168, 10.33. How do you find it by using this
Oh,
method?
okay. I'm not sure like I'm understanding it right or not, but like I will try. So what I will do, I will type a loopback address, which will return me the local host, I believe.
Nope. From CMD, how do you find that .33 address? You remembered it, right? But you saw that on the domain. But in the most cases, 90% of the time, help desk will never get it to the domain controller, unless you're KevTech. It's a different story.
So what I will type is like just the local host. I can maybe the
What's the name of the domain controller? What's the host name of the domain controller?
host name of the domain controller. That will be the jobskillshare.lab.
Is it?
Sorry, jobshare.com domain
That's
controller.
the domain name. Oh, that's the domain of the domain. But I mean
Yes.
of the actual domain controller. What's the actual host name of that?
I'm not sure. I have to look into the DNS for that to find the host. So
It's I believe it was DC2 is what it was called.
okay. So
So how
what,
knowing that, is there another way you can do this if you in case you didn't use NSLookup? Let's say there was no DNS server that you could contact. Is there another way you can find this? A certain technology.
so what I can maybe I can ping to the local host, but that won't be returning me the what we call it like the
Yeah,
host name.
it will. You can do that and do right now. Ping DC2 and you'll see it.
Okay.
But what technology is that? Why does it do that? What's the name? What's the name of that
Okay, gotcha.
of that thing that makes it possible for you to do this?
Sorry. So what you meant is maybe the ICMP packet you are asking about?
No, that's ping. But why can
Yeah.
you ping this name and you get the IP address back? Well, without if there's no DNS server, there's nothing. Why can you do this? Why does this work? What's the name of that technology?
So what like the loopback address you are saying? Like loopback will be the local host, right? So I'm
No,
not
no.
understanding. Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying. So if you in order, I'm pinging the name of the domain controller, and I'm getting
Yes.
back my IP address.
Yes.
So what's the name of that technology that makes that possible?
Oh, okay. So what you meant is, sorry. Okay, address resolution protocol, ARP.
Almost.
Okay. So okay, yeah, that's what I'm coming with. ARP or RARP or
It starts
okay.
with net.
Sorry, start with the
Nets.
So like it's revolving in my head. Like I know, like, but like, okay. So it was domain name resolution. So it's done by. No, you can answer me actually. Just not waste your time.
No, it's just with NetBIOS. NetBIOS. It's just what I was looking for.
Okay, okay. The NetBIOS. Okay, okay. Gotcha. So what NetBIOS is doing here exactly?
You get using name resolution using NetBIOS, the NetBIOS name of the computer.
Okay, gotcha.
There's also a
Understand.
IPv6 variant, and that's called LLMNR, link local multicast name resolution. That's IPv6. It'll give you back the IPv6 address if you put in the NetBIOS or no. Yeah, it'll give you LLMNR will give you the IPv6. NetBIOS will give you back the IPv4 address.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. Good to know. Yeah, what I was understanding is like you are asking for the mechanism, like are for like address resolution protocol or reverse address resolution protocol.
Simple stuff. Anybody got another question here? I know, Heifa, you had one that you asked. You put in the chat earlier.
If we,
Yeah, I had a chance to ask that already. Danish, sorry, did you want to say something?
no, I was just saying maybe we should wrap up, I guess, and do the review and see what you guys think on, the whole process, and then maybe later, and I can show him where to get started as well, because I guess that's what his question. Now, where do I start? Because he was asking that, so maybe I'll just go over that. But let's just start with some kind of review. So, KevTech, our our Superman, our Superman has to start with this, because we're gonna give the Superman. So, what do you think, KevTech? First, let's start with, because his first request was sysadmin, also because he wanted to get tested like that, right? That's why we started with the sysadmin. So, KevTech give you a review on a sysadmin, give you a review on a help desk. Would you hire him as a sysadmin? Yes or no? And also, would you hire him as a level 1 or intern? Intern is pretty bad, but I mean, I'm just gonna take you, because there's in our platform, when somebody do the hot seat, they're above intern then, because they did this, they have this much confidence to come live like this. So we gotta appreciate that. You're way above intern status right now. So that's, I'm gonna give you that right there. So here's KevTech, go ahead and give us your review.
He is for sysadmin. I'm sorry, I will not hire you for sysadmin.
Yeah, I can see that myself.
Sorry. For help desk, I'm gonna give you not level 1. I think you're like level 1.5, close to 2. I think if like if you do more like you just practice a little more, you could probably be like level 2, and then when you're level 2, you could go into sysadmin. So I don't think you're help desk level 1. I think you're like 1.5 going into 2ish, if that makes sense. You just gotta work. You gotta work on your skills, but I feel like you're not a level 1. I feel like you're a little more than that. So that's my opinion.
All right, thank you, KevTech. Now I'm gonna go with my senior, Steven, my our our lead right here. Go ahead, Steven.
Definitely not sysadmin. He's definitely not ready for that role yet. Everything that you threw at him earlier, he pretty much was kind of like just treading water at that point, trying to even survive. Level 2, maybe, something like that. His skills are good, but they could be sharpened up a little bit. I mean, when you're in at least a level 2, you got to be really quick thinking. You can't go muttering on through stuff. You got to really like react. So I maybe agree with Kevin, maybe 1.5, maybe a 2, level 2 desktop support, but definitely not sysadmin right now. You need to get with Donish or something like that and really shore up your skills. The stuff you had on your resume, what Donish said, he really put you through the test early. I kind of felt sorry for you, but he threw at you stuff that he does every day of his life, and you're definitely not ready for that kind of job. But you're definitely not help desk either. I mean, you're definitely above help desk a little bit. I mean, but just show up your skills. I think get a little more confidence in what you're doing, and I think you'll be on like a level 2 path, and then from there you can probably take off. So that's what I would agree on. So
Thank you so much, Steven.
Thank you, Steven. Kevin
Wow.
Diaz, he's the SEC engineer of JSS and KevTech. There you go. Kevin Diaz, what's up?
I'm gonna say I agree with both Kevin and Steven. I'm gonna say level 1, and the only reason I don't say level 2, I feel like you're lacking real world experience, and I feel like once you get that, a few months at least, you're going to get a lot better, and you're going to be able to actually be more confident in what you're doing. Because I see that you're really knowledgeable, but the hands-on, there's some gaps, some basic stuff that there's some gaps in that knowledge. So just I would say get some experience, and I feel like you can move up pretty quickly in the field if you continue the way you are now.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. That's what actually I think. Like I know a lot, but there are lots of gaps into that, so that's why I don't quickly jump into the solution. So yeah, thank you so much for your.
All right, we're gonna go with our powerful admin, Haifa, the Discord admin. Nobody mess with the admin. So there you go, Haifa. What do you think?
I can't comment on this because it was above my skill set. But I can comment on your interview questions, the soft skill ones. They were fantastic. You did a good job.
Thank you so much, Haifa.
Is there anybody else in this chat that want to come up, and what do you guys think? Rest we got other people sitting here too. So before.
One question I want to throw out there is, if I was in the room, Kevin Diaz was in the room, Haifa was in the room, Don's was in the room, and KevTech were in the room, and he started off the way he did, with the way that Don's was bombing, he was really going after him like that, would we all turn to each other and scribble down a piece of paper like, let's get him out of here? Like, okay, like this is not going to work. This is definitely not the job for him right now. And kind of like, it would be a very, very quick interview. Like, do you guys agree with that or not? Like looking at each other, like,
yeah. Like if it was
their own little ways.
If it was a sysadmin, I already mentioned that, because the reason we went hard on the sysadmin area because of how you requested, right? Like you wanted to test that. So we wanted to either go extreme detail with you, because I had actually, to be honest, I had practice lab up. I was going to actually give you routers and switches, and you would have to actually switch one router configuration to another router. And I know with this type of skills, you will not be able to even touch that, right? So, and you would have to do a lot of stuff, and you would have to, I was actually going in really because you wanted that really hardcore skills. But the thing is this, that I already knew that you didn't work in IT before. So I had to make sure that my people managers are safe. So we already shot that down immediately in the beginning, that no, this is not going to work for you. Sysadmin is something that is very broad, very, very broad title. So when you get into a company, you're dealing with very big systems, and they don't just play around with this type of people. It's very stressful, by the way, if you don't know these things. So either you're going to run away from that job yourself, or they're going to fire you because they deal with very expensive stuff. Now, is it possible to land a job as a sysadmin, as a platform? Like, because we do this to train people. So one of my major things is that I don't like to even promote this idea. It's just a bad promotion of titling, right? To become a sysadmin. And a lot of people, will come in, just skip the help desk because somehow they don't like this. And I tell people that, look, if you haven't been in the help desk, you need to, if you do it smartly, if you do it with passion, help desk is a very cool job. If you do the smart way, like it's not going to be easy in any job out there. IT job is not easy. If you're not passionate about IT, if you don't want to help people, none of these IT jobs will work for you ever. You really need to love working with people, whether you're becoming a sysadmin, whether you want to become a help desk, you got to do that. And probably KevTech is probably more vocal than me in this area, where he says, hey, if you don't like people, don't even get into this career. So that's my first suggestion to you, is that now you asked me, how do you start? Now, here's the thing. You just came to this platform. I'm sure you haven't started your courses yet, right?
No, not yet. Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to take over the screen, and I'm just going to quickly show you the courses that you can get started, and this will touch KevTech my and other people stuff in here. So let's just go into that right now. So I'm gonna take over the screen.
For sure.
Go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
I want to also say that you handled the stress really well, like the pressure that they put on you. I know that they're a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't give you my
actually-
I didn't give you my tips. So
Yeah, you didn't actually.
you're definitely not ready for sysadmin. Like I said, I won't consider that at all. But help desk, like I said, Steven and they all put you in level 2, but I am going to be putting still like I'm kind of like a person who you're missing too many things right now. Even like a lot, to be honest. Like you can really zoom in on this if you know a little bit what Kevin and other people told you. Like if you really go over some courses, I think you can skip the very basic entry level kind of stuff, and people may even hire you for level 2. But I still feel like you should not like don't limit your search to level 2s now. Don't get this idea from us that you're gonna see level 1s and you're gonna probably see a little less money and you're like, forget it, because Steven and Kevtek and Danish or Kevin Diaz told me you are level 2 now, because you're going to start skipping opportunities. So because you have not landed a job, don't try, because those opportunities are going to get away from you then, because now you're limiting yourself. So I hope you don't make that mindset either. So you're level 2 to me, but you should apply everywhere you can to get the job first.
Yes, Danish. Actually, that was the whole purpose, like, to me to attend this hot seat, because what I was seeing, like all the like I have seen like on the YouTube helpdesk interviews, right? I like every time I watch the helpdesk interview, I think like I know that stuff. So that's why I was going for the next step, like the sysadmin, right? And I thought like I have learned this.
It's a common thing. It's a common thing when people have not worked in IT. Everybody wants to become a sysadmin in the beginning. Why? Because it's a trend that people have started, and 90% people will realize that that's not how it is then, right?
Yes.
So then they only realize it either they go to interviews, so they get tested real like that, right? Or they will go to certifications, and certifications are great. We promote it, but then of course certifications like A+ is nowhere near sysadmin stuff, right? So even A+ is not even near your own jobs right now. That's where we are complaining about it, and it needs more. So here's the thing. Here's your story of how you're going to start. I like to promote the free program right immediately, because a lot of people want to follow something that's freely available, right? And when you say free, it's not like we give you 2-3 videos and then you pay for the video, right? It's a whole program that you need to take for free, which is this link right here, JobSkillShare/free. So don't get yourself confused. First, register with the free account and open this link, Deepak, and watch this video, right? Then start with step 1. You see, it's telling you right here, IT Fundamental V1.0. Now you may say, I think I'm too good for fundamentals, but actually when you get into this course, this is actually what you are missing today, like finding out the machine name, all of that stuff is in this fundamental. That's the real stuff right there. If you miss this, you miss the core. And when your house core is weak, what happens to that house? That goes down, right?
Yeah.
So you really need to make sure your core is strong. So you need to make sure you finish this course. And then if you want to keep everything for free, you got 300+ hours, probably more than that, when I combine it with KevTech videos. So now in KevTech videos are actually added into this course, which is step 2 right now. So this is done recently, by the way. I already told him. So before we were like, okay, you're going to finish my courses and you're going to go all the way down to KevTech videos. I'm like, no, that's not a proper way, because nobody was going to go down that much. That's kind of like, people don't do that. So now KevTech videos are integrated with this course, which makes it even more powerful. Okay. So if you finish step 1, step 2, you see how it's going to ticketing, Office 365, Active Directory. You miss certain things in Active Directory. There you go. Office 365. You see, I'm weak in that area. I don't know too much about it. There you go. You got the whole course right there. And there you go. You got at the end, you have this applying to the jobs. But even more better than this one, you need to be in a community, which is a Discord community, which is this right here. So if you're not part of this community, then I think everybody's missing huge right here. Huge. Like I started this community a month ago, and I can see the power of how powerful this is, like how quickly you can get into things like that. So what I would like you to do is to make sure you basically finish off this area. If you want to keep everything for free, But again, if you want to do labs and everything, you need to contact me. That's something you can just make a decision later on. I don't like to promote this stuff
Yes.
in my session. So if you need it, you need labs, you need to contact me directly in the other channels. So that's not something we can talk about now, but later
Okay
on,
then.
something
Okay.
you want. But what do you think so far? You did a whole thing. What do you feel now? Let's talk about you.
Though what I feel like I can see the gaps. Like as I told, like for the help desk, I was thinking I'm overqualified, and for the admins, I wasn't sure if I'm qualified or not. So yeah, it gave me a actual picture like where I stand, because yeah, learning everything, studying everything is different, and implementing, because I couldn't even come up with those kind of question. Okay, for a website, if you want 2 or 3 IP or 50 IPs which will be redirecting on the same web page, I couldn't even think about that, right? So yeah, it's really awesome. Like real thanks to the whole community, everybody on the team. Like yeah, you just show me like the actual where I stand into this.
Yeah, and this whole platform is based on that reality that you're missing right now. So
Yes.
what we did, Steven is there, he's working in his job right now, and he's learning these new things that I don't know, KevTech don't know, Kev Diaz don't know, and he's in, hey, guys,
Mhm.
I learned this stuff. So we all, okay, KevTech will come tomorrow, then he's like, oh, I found this in my job. Kevin Diaz coming tomorrow, and he said, oh, this is what I found. And then I say, oh, this is what I found. You see how it becomes very, very powerful at the end, and it gives you way better approach than you doing it solo or going to some type of one single certification type of courses, because they don't talk about this stuff, right? And the idea of 10 years ago was this: you learn certifications, you learn the degree stuff, you go to the job, then you learn it from other people. That's fine, you're going to learn it over there. That's how we all do it. We changed that. We are reversing that a little bit. We're
Yes.
saying that why don't we get together, talk about the things that we're learning at work, convert it into more learning process. So then when you land a job, you're moving forward, and you're just kind of like saving time and energy and moving
That's
fast. That's the whole
exactly. Yeah.
concept of these 2-3 communities that we are here right now. KevTech, what do you think, man? What kind of advice would you give him?
I think he should apply for all the sysadmin roles in the world. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding. No, we're like, just follow the courses, go over the courses, join Discord, man. Your Discord, you're missing out, because Donish does training, I do training, Steven does training, the other Kevin does training, Haifa does training. So like, if you're not on Discord, you're missing out.
I was actually just gonna say, Kevin, you're not going live this Saturday, are you?
No.
Okay, so I guess I'll go live on Saturday. Of course, I can never take Kevin's place, so that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'll go live, and I will go
object
over
on
some...
that. Nobody goes live at 2:00. That's Kevin's time. Okay.
Sorry,
Just kidding.
Kevin.
Kevin.
So 2:00 on I'll go 2:00 on Saturday Eastern time, and we'll do some Microsoft 365 stuff, because I know that a lot of people lack that. Like they're good with, they're not good with, but like they know a lot of the what's it called, Active Directory, and so they want a little bit of
Yeah, I will definitely
bit of
try to
Microsoft
join I will definitely try to join the 365 one.
One thing I want to say is that you did good with the interview questions. And the second thing is that you did pretty good for someone that has about 40, 50 people here on YouTube, plus, the Zoom meeting. They're pretty good for a lot of people
I
around
say
you.
the confidence. I think you got super confidence, so
Yeah.
that's pretty good, and
Thank
you
you,
can
guys.
utilize it. And those behavioral question was actually really good. And another thing I really like about you is your how do you say that, man? How do you guys say when you
He has
really
like the
personality?
determination.
Yeah.
Like the personality is really nice. And like if I was a manager hiring an entry level, I would hire you in no. Like I wouldn't even think too much about the technical things at this point right now. So your personality is pretty good. So that is a
Thank
very
you,
big
guys.
thing with you.
That's
Keep it
giving
that
me
way.
a little bit of more like motivation.
It's good because you have like the what I think is the determination, I guess, or you have that you're driven to actually learn. So like you don't give up that easily,
Yes.
And a lot of people that are IT managers, they like people that are willing to learn.
We like to what am I saying? We like to sweet talk at the end just to make sure people are happy.
No.
Just kidding.
Also, to Deepak, I've been doing this for 10 years. And the sysadmin stuff that he was doing with you earlier, I was kind of lost on. I was like, whoa, what is this? Because I never seen it before. So I never was inside of Danish's world. So that was kind of cool to see that. And I was stumbling along with you, like, but then when he kind of eased off a little bit, I was like, okay, now I'm back to knowing my stuff. But when he got really into that I didn't know anything about that.
We want to promote this to other people too, because it's not just, we don't want to just say level one here, right? For how long can we do the hot seat for level 1? So if people are watching us, hey, I want to get off help desk. Somebody say I have 10 years experience in help desk. Am I ready to actually move on to a junior sysadmin? Please come on in. We have the systems, we have the ability to test you. And we have the ability to not only test you, by the way, this is not about testing. It's about what's next for you, actually. That's the main reason why we are doing this. So we have the ability to give you the resources so then you can move on to that transition period, because we also work with the community that are stuck in a help desk area, which they want to move out from this, right? So we are also really, really focusing in this area. Again, we are not the masters. We're not the gurus over here. We only know what we know. Half of the things when Steven and Kev Diaz and KevTech ask you guys, I'm also like scratching my head. I'm like, I did that in my career. But here's the thing. Here's how it works in IT. Nobody's a master over here. Nobody's a guru. You only are good at your job, whatever you do. So you have 4 or 5 professionals over here, and you just grab that knowledge, convert it into your skills, and land a job and get better. Come back, and you're now additional skills in this community as a force. That's the whole purpose. Honestly, nobody over here is a master over here. Nobody has, I mean, I don't even have certifications. I kind of let go of certifications long time ago. So don't consider that we are above anybody over here. Like, we are just normal like you, Deepak. You may be good at certain areas that I have no clue, right? So just come on in, work with us, learn with each other, and the Discord community is the place where we really, really learn from each other, to be honest.
That's the purpose, Danish. Share and learn.
I think another thing too is just keep your resume honest, because I think Danish got a hold of your resume and he said, okay, I'm going to go at him, and all of a sudden you kind of like went downhill. So your resume tells you what you know and what what you're all about. So if you get in there and all of a sudden they make you look small because your resume says one thing and they are really pounding you down, and like, man, I guess I don't really know how much I really do know. So, you want to keep it real, but once you learn the skills, then you can get through that, interview process. So just be careful what you put on the resume, just because somebody will start pounding you if they really know, like Don or something like that sitting there. He's going to come at you, and you better be ready for anything, especially if you want that special job,
Yes, Steven, actually, that brings me a real question, actually, which I think when I'm writing my resume. So let's say I have the certification. I know how to configure the Active Directory, how to configure the users. I know how to configure the DHCP. I know how to configure the DNS, but like the in-depth things which you guys asked me today, I don't know. So what you suggest, like, to put on the resume? If I don't put I know the Active Directory, that means I don't know at all. I know, like,
no, but you need to put it on, but the basics of it. But when you start digging down into those fine tuning ones, that's where Danish comes into play, because he knows all that. We know the top layers. You know what I mean? Like, I think even KevTech would even agree to that. I mean, really get down into the nitty gritty. I don't know if he even ventured down that road yet. Maybe he has.
I'll add something. I just added a link for you. Remember, this is a pretty big question from a lot of people, that how do I learn all these things? So how do I put it on my resume? Before you even put that stuff on your resume, you need to understand what titles you're applying for. And you need to know the in-demand skills related to that type of titles. So what I'm saying is that if you learn about Active Directory, you have to present Active Directory in a way that you're applying for a help desk job. Active Directory user management. You see how I turn Active Directory into more of telling a person that I'd only manage users in Active Directory. So if you put Active Directory administration only, then that's a person will probably ask you, oh man, this person knows a lot. Let me put him through some, how about some, Active Directory going bad, and let me just test him that way. So the first thing is for you over here is to follow those courses, and those courses are real world based courses that basically answers your questions in there. So you in that course, it will tell you, okay, you have learned ticketing system. How do you use ticketing system on resume? You have learned Office 365. How do you put Office 365 in the resume targeting help desk titles? You have learned Active Directory and DNS and DHCP. Those are core learning as a help desk because you're not going deep. Then how are you going to put that on your resume only to tell the person that I only know about DNS? It's what it means and how does it work? Nobody's going to ask you in DNS in help desk how to configure a DNS on a server, right? That's just, if they do, then that's just, I don't know. I mean, I can't really.
Danish, I also wanted to jump in and say there's the internship opportunity. If you guys would like to join, it's going to start. I want to say in the next week or two.
Is it the jobs cashier?
Yes. Yeah.
It just ended today.
Oh, you ended it?
Yeah, we're gonna end it today. So
I think you should extend it for one more day.
Okay, I'll extend it one more day because of admin. Admin has powers. I can.
No,
so,
I think it's
so
a
Friday's the last.
everybody.
Yeah, Friday's the last day because Abdul has been working on this like crazy.
I joined him, so I'm working on it with him.
Oh, you're working with him? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll extend it then.
I just want to little bit share my things if I can share right now.
Yes, sir.
I took the class Active Directory, Office 365 with the teacher here in Los Angeles. A 6-month class every Saturday, or Sunday like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got certification like A+, MCSA, MCP, like that. And that time is your job skill sharing those video install deployment, all those kind of stuff I did in class, and I was perfect in that time. But I didn't get the help desk side job. I get the job first time desk side support, and they only gave me the opportunity to collect the SS tag and management the all device SS. And after that, I got the job break fix, more like troubleshoot hardware and break fix. And I'm still working like that, but I forget all deployment, Office 365, Active Directory, group policy, security group, like that stuff. So this time, and I used to go back in YouTube, watch lots of video, and I found Captech over there. This guy is really good, and I emailed one day nighttime him, and he gave me this platform, and I'm really appreciate about it. I can find lots of people. So I want to join your intern. If there is a chance for me, then Dennis, I want to join your intern.
Yeah.
Please.
So anybody who wants to join intern,
I
then
was just gonna talk about that. Yeah.
go. You want to
me
talk about
give them?
Yeah.
Because I know you're tired. Right. So I'm not going to give you too many details about the internship. I'm just going to tell you how to join for now. I'm going to post a little bit of it on the YouTube chat. So basically, to join the internship, you would need to explain. It's free. Just send an email to the email that I posted on the YouTube chat and explain why you need this internship and what your future goal is. Make sure to put your soul into that email. Go ahead, Jonas.
And make sure you guys read the email. Here's the thing. You guys need to understand this is very important stuff right here, okay? You want to say something?
Yeah, and you have to join the Discord to be a part of it. So I'm going to also post the links for the Discord.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
So here's the thing. A lot of people who are new right now, automatically they're going to think that this is some type of opportunity that I can just go and get my hands dirty with servers or real 50, 60 users or stuff like that. You need to understand the background of this. The background of this internship is to help people on the resume based on our business model. What is our business model? We have courses, we have content, we are out there, we have people at very high level contacting us and telling us that, hey, do you have people, stuff like that. So we are not a type of MSP or services type of company who are just you're gonna become a Raju, like I'm telling you also, that you're gonna become an intern and expect that I'm just gonna put myself, like I'm gonna have 50 clients that I'm gonna fix their issues. No, it's not like that. So you have to make sure you guys read that email, because this is where we're helping people with the brand new people who cannot have anything on their resume. So they may finish our courses and everything. They may even finish trainings with KevTech, everybody, right? But here's the problem. They always tell us that, how do I put that first technical experience on my resume, which is either totally separate from my other job, or I'm too new. I don't have a company basically to add on that resume. So I hope I make this very, very clear to people that this is not that type of internship that if you think that you're going to learn some hands-on skills with clients, because nobody will do that, right? They're not going to open up online platform for 40,000 people and hire like interns left and right and give them clients to, go ahead and fix my client issues, right? That's not how it works in business. But what I'm doing is I'm going above my capabilities, because my capabilities is to teach skills right now, right? That's kind of like our terms are in our platform. My capabilities were not to give people my company name or stuff like that. So now we open that. We basically telling people that, hey, how about we give you, because we're out there, people know about us, people can search it, and online it's going to pop up, reviews just pop up immediately. So we're already there now. And based on that, we will give you that name, that specific things that we want to give you are technical in a very different sense, but it's technical. And Abdul is going to be your lead IT intern, and he's going to explain this technique. It's kind of like, you guys can call it something that we're trying to achieve over here, which you just can't achieve this without knowing, without having this, like a company or a name. Like, how you cannot fake it, right? Neither we can fake it. So when we are going to give you an internship, it's going to be based on, hey, we are going to give you a lab environment. Go ahead and write documentation on it. Go ahead and create some users in this lab for our users. Go ahead and help the Discord community members. Those type of things are also technical.
You'll have a project to complete.
You have a project to complete. There you go. So make sure you guys don't make this, don't take it the wrong way, because I really want to make sure that it doesn't become a negative thing at the end where people think, oh my God, I was expecting this to be a real, MSP type of work. I was going to remote into like 50 clients that I was expecting. Where are those clients? And that's going to be, of course, that's something is going to be a defeat to this whole project. So
Can I add something, Danish?
Yes,
Sorry.
please.
Yeah, go ahead, Abdul.
Yeah, so just to talk about the internship a little bit more, it's still in the works, but we do have a rough idea of how long it's going to be and the projects we're going to be taking on. So we're thinking about a month, for anyone who's still listening, about a month. And what we're going to do is try to be as creative as possible and think outside the box. How can we make simulations of the most authentic way of people to get experience and how they can translate that experience to their resume. It's going to take some more time. I have more help now, but I'm confident at the end of this, we'll have something where people can go forward in a job interview. And not only that, we'll also be doing career development talks and everything. So there's definitely a lot to gain from being part of the internship. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Can I just do a quick thing, since I'm sharing my screen right now? I just want to show people, if you join the Discord and you want to join the internship, scroll all, so this is called a server and these are called channels. Scroll all the way down in the job skills share Discord and find IT internship. If you have any questions, please message Abdul or you can message me. So Abdul is the lead and I'm his assistant. But yeah, so come on here and ask all the questions that you want. And then if you want to just like get to know people, come to chit chat and then figure out the rest of the rooms or message me and I'll introduce you to them.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, Dennis, I understand what you say, but like I'm okay with that. I like to do start from Dia and do some project with you guys and work on it, because I already forget what I did before. It's already been 2 years and I'm only working hardware
You'll
stuff
learn a
right
lot.
now.
You'll learn a lot. The internship is very extensive when it comes to learning, because that's the same stuff that Haifa learned with us when she was doing live training. So it's kind of like equivalent to that. And you guys will learn a lot in this. It's very intense. Just before that, I want to also, I don't know if Kev is gonna like this, but Kev also have trainings going on. If you join his Discord community, he probably shut down his one-on-one, I guess, right, Kev? But make sure you guys are in his community, because like I said, if I was a student right now or I was trying to learn, you don't want to miss an opportunity like that with a person like this one. Like, he is way beyond in his skills where what we're doing here. So these two communities are very good with this type of stuff. But when somebody gives you that opportunity, that one-on-one type of thing, then grab it and jump on it. That's what I'm gonna say, So
Yeah, if there is anything you can, I more share the Dennis about me, like what I got the job last time. I got the level 2 job, and last hour the VP just rejected me. And
yeah, and here's the thing. Reality is reality. I already told you you're a strong person, and you didn't get the job. You went to the VP, all the way to the VP, which is a big thing. And
you.
if you didn't get that job, jobs are jobs. You're gonna find more opportunities. Better opportunities are waiting for you. This is how the real stuff works. This is how, in this community, where we never kind of go down that way, right? So we basically say, hey, you didn't get the job, you need to go and apply to 10 more jobs. Get mad and go apply to 20 more jobs. No 20, 200 jobs. The technique that we're telling people is that, yes, you're in a great community. You're gonna come back and not do it blindly. You're gonna come back and fix your resume. We don't have any master fix either in this area, because if we did, I'm sure everybody would be going to KevTech or Jobs Cashier, and this whole world will be following us right now. I'm sure that would be the case. So we don't have anything master, but what we're doing here, guys, we're just kind of like giving every single bit of this from these platforms. We don't care about times over here. Here you have 3 hours we spend, almost 2 hours we spend. We don't care about time when it comes to building communication, building friends over here, community, making this community stronger and stronger and stronger. We really don't care about that stuff. So at the same time, we expect everybody to be very strong in their mindset also. You didn't get a job, apply to more places, but come back and tell us that this is the resume that you're using. And when I say to watch a playlist or something like this, please take that seriously. There's a reason behind this. You don't take it, then of course you're going to ask me 20 more questions, and I'm going to say 20 more times to watch the playlist, because that's how I works. That's how my mind works, because in the playlist, everything is there for you, and you guys have to kind of do that. So internships, or the guys who are doing interns, I already gave the first assignment. So guys, go to the internship page, click on the playlist, finish it off, and then that will really give you a good start.
Okay, thank you, Dennis, for all information. And if there is some like a one-on-one or something other training KevTech is starting, I also like to join, and
He's here. I mean, he's
practice.
here. You can ask him, but that's his stuff. And even I asked him, can I be your assistant? He rejected me. So
thank you.
All right, guys. I think it's nighttime. If anybody have a last word, they can come on in and.
Okay, it should be me, I guess. Thank you so much, guys, for giving your time, and really appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
I wanted to thank everyone that was on here. I want to thank Abdul also for his work with the internship stuff. It looks really good. I just joined him today, so I'm excited. But what he has planned for the interns looks really, really good. Donna, she said you're going to close it for tomorrow, or can we maybe do Sunday?
Let me ask Abdul. I mean, he's the lead in this. So Abdul, what do you let him make that decision? Abdul, what do you think?
I don't know about Sunday. Maybe we can just get
You
a
wanna
group
do
chat
tomorrow?
later. A group chat
Okay.
later and talk about it. Yeah, I don't know
Sounds
right now.
All right. But yeah, thank you to everyone else who was on here.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you, KevTech, Stephen, Kevin, Diaz, Deepak, everybody who are here, Sandra, Taylor. Stephen and everybody, and Stephen Kidd right there. So
He's going to bed soon. We're both going to bed.
all right, thank you guys. I think with that we will end it. And Kevtek, you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say good night.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right, cool. I'll see you guys in the next hot seat. Take care. Bye bye.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.